Right, what's going on? What's going on? This is Janu for the Light Hour with Janu. And we got a beautiful view today, y'all. And what we doing? Yeah, that's what we doing. We out here. The wife got a Reiki session she attended. So it was the perfect time for me to get some introspection, some retrospection, some clarity about the journey, and that's what this episode is about. Which, you know, I do things how I see fit. You know, I've stopped trying to conform to how people are expecting things to be. Because I do things what's comfortable for me. So, typically, this one would have been like the first video in the series. But hey, I'm making it the third video in the series. So, and that's what it's about. It's about the journey. It's not about being a troublemaker. It's not about being difficult. It's about really, really, really stripping away the things that are not you. People's mamas, daddies' expectations, grandmas, grandpas, aunties, uncles' expectations, brothers, sister expectations, wives, husbands' expectations. Hell, the sabotage, the main sabotage, the expectations that we put on ourselves. You know, we in an era where, or in a time and space right now where it's all about, you know, being the best you can be. Being the best. And it's, to everybody, it's not about being the best. To somebody, it might be actually being the opposite of not even entertain trying to be the best to anyone. You know what I'm saying? And mainly themselves. So to be the best to yourself is to first realize that our thinking, the mental framework that we got is really not one of our making. These are things we go through life with old agreements. So if any of y'all have ever read the 4 agreements, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. But I've been saying this before the 4 agreements. Personally, where I can say that, you know, you even have to go back and examine what I'm saying, and this is part of the journey. And I understand now why you have to be a warrior on this journey, because for one, it's a lonely journey. This is a lonesome journey. Even though you might be in a relationship, you still have to make that individual walk. You still have to make your self-discovery. And it's not for the faint at heart. You know, people don't want to face themselves because they really are fearful for what they might find. You understand? They might be fearful for what they find. That some of the things that they actually might gravitate to or might resonate with, or some things that are not accepted by society. And so in turn, they don't act out, that they suppress it, and when it's time for them to face it, they can't face it. So to be honest, you have to be a strong heart. You have to have that, because nobody, unless they've been walking this path since they came out of the womb knowingly, nobody's going to be comfortable with their find in the back recesses of their subconscious. No one's going to be completely happy with it, and especially when you go to deprogramming prior agreements that when you look at the world now, you say, well, where the fuck did they get that from? You know, fortunately for myself, where I had a dad that was very flexible. So a lot of the things that he did make mention to me as a youngster in life, I can see him to where now his words have so much meaning to me because they actually fit in. My program wasn't one of you know, why I feel like I have to do a bunch of deprogramming. I'm not saying I don't have to do any deprogramming, but I don't. As far as a world view, and honestly, like I said, a lot of people are just trying to, first off, deprogram from religions. Well, hey, Ed talked about that kind of, I ain't gonna say kind of, we talked about that for a good while. And, cause, you know, I kind of asked her, why do people distance themselves away from me? Because I simply don't view religion and faith and all of that like everybody else. And it was, you know, it was really, it was shocking to me. And she pretty told me that, you know, no shit. Even you're different, but you even come from a different parent. You know, my father had 5 brothers and 7 sisters. So even out of them 12, he was the different one. You know, he didn't have the same views that even as a collective that a lot of them shared as a collective, he didn't. So just my vector in here was different. So coming up in life where my cousins and stuff were forced them in church, I had a choice. You know, he didn't bash it, but it's your choice. And that was a lot of the way that I was raised. So like I said, when I go back and I think of an occultist and what I read about an occultist and also a shaman, I'm saying this whole time I had one. Even though it wasn't in those terminologies, when I go and look at the wisdom that he said, this dude was the shaman and the occultist, the metaphysician the whole time. But his perspective, he didn't accept all of the programming that came down through his parents, I'ma say. Now, it's base programs that we're gonna accept from our parents. Me and Nadi were talking about that today, where, you know, if somebody tell you no, you don't have temper tantrums. But my thing ultimately was like, but we have to understand where that temper tantrum came from, and we might be suppressing it. But what if he's just a hot-natured person, like I'm gonna say myself? Like, I'm very hot-natured, but I'm very, very cool too, very breezy too. But what I've come to realize that I'm hot-natured, that I'm not afraid of conflict, that I actually kind of welcome conflict. Now, I don't go out and pick fights, and like I said, this is not about being a bully or being just difficult. No, but I don't turn away from conflict. I don't just, okay, so you will shut up and no. If you can stand up and make a point to me, your point to me, so why in the hell can I stand up and not make my point to you? You see what I'm saying? But that's a part of me that I had to come to grow and be comfortable with. To understand that about myself, that no, you can try to suppress it, you can try to have anger management, you can try to do all of these things, but at the base, bottom level, hello ladies, how y'all doing today? I'm doing well. At the base level of who I am, I'm not afraid of conflict. Never have been. Don't shy away from it. Don't seek it, but no shy away from it. Don't try to smooth over a situation. If it's rough and rugged, it's rough and rugged. And that's just me. That's something that, you know, I tried to change. I tried to, you know, even with the self-help and to do this, and you can reverse psychology, man. The hell with some reverse psychology. If another man can stand up and tell me his point of view, I am well over man enough to stand up and express my point of view and tell that man that I don't agree with how he sees it. And if he doesn't agree with me, fine. But you know my point of view, and if you choose not to agree with it, then that you're not going to hear it from me. Not going to know where I stand on a matter ever. The cowardness and the bowing out and trying to use reverse psychology with people, I don't have time to think that. That's because that's not me. And to some people, like, man, that's not wrong. Man, I'm the easiest person in the world to speak with. But just know, if it's something that I don't see eye to eye with you, you will know it. And it's not out of being difficult, it's out of, because if I say I don't see it that way, that means I really just don't see it that way. And that's what this journey is. So that's why I say, part 2, you can't be personal. You get this shit personal to the fact of people are going to have different world views, different dreams. But are you willing to stand on it? Are you willing to live in it? So when it comes back to you, do you not make a double standard for it? But you can talk one way, but when it comes to you, you're another way. No. You can't do it that way. You can't be faint at heart with this. You have to be willing to accept some things about yourself. That to society, you might be a barbarian. They might view you as a barbarian. But what is society? Society is nothing but a bunch of moral laws that we have all basically kind of agreed to. Now, we don't even have to agree to it now. A social standard, hey, all it takes is a person on the side of the world to say, eating white rice is bad. And then it'll become a social standard. If this person has some validity, or not even validity, if this person has any kind of juice, if people have bigged these people up so their word is taken as, oh, that's gold. Nobody wants to trust themselves. I made a post earlier, I said, we fear being ourselves more than we fear death. Because we're afraid, we're really afraid of what other people are gonna say about us. Well, on this journey, and I'm putting it very loosely, and on this journey, really, if nobody's giving you wisdom on your walk, fuck what somebody has to say. Because that's not gonna work for you. We spend our whole lives not even knowing we're on a journey. This journey is called life. The path is called life, called living. It's called being. This is what I tell religious people when they talk about, what was the word? The word was Jesus. No, the word was be. Hence, a human being. The word was be. And it was. We're afraid to be ourselves, but not afraid to be what other people project on us to be. But this is what this journey is about. It's about loosening yourself from the expectations of society, your parents, even the delusion that you have yourself under. That's what this journey is. It's a journey to being. Being what? Being yourself and accepting yourself and going through this life, living it, not sabotaging it, with not accepting yourself. So, now D was supposed to sit, like I said, supposed to sit in on me. I'll come back with a part 2 to this, the journey, and what's it really all about. Cause you know, personally, me and my wife, we've been married 6 years, and we're getting to understanding that, hey, we're together for a reason, which is totally opposite of how we're gonna view everything as individuals. And I know that we're not gonna agree. on everything. I know her worldview, and when she's working on her worldview, breaking things down, old programmings that are not her and that are not suiting her. Yeah, we're gonna not see eye to eye. We understand that, but it's so beautiful is that we don't have the same worldview, that we do have a different set of eyes to see this, but we do envision and see the end the same. We have appreciation for our own paths, but know that the end of it coalesce and say, you know what, we can generalize the end. You know what I'm saying? There's no differentiating when you get to the end. It's all one. But while we're down here in these individual paths, yes, we're going to see things different. And it's okay. It's fine. And even in your differences, if you can make a compromise. Now, this is when we start playing with the degree of the heart. Because if somebody else's vision is aiding you in your quest, then you have to make a compromise and say that, yeah, it's working for me. How you're seeing it fits my worldview and how I'm seeing things. And that's where you make a compromise at. That's where this is where you can be humble enough to allow what somebody else perceives to actually fit into your worldview, because it does. This is how you also perceiving it, and you can allow it to work for you. So I'm not saying that take on things from other individuals. We do. We can't be here and not. We're all connected. This is what we're failing to get. Black, white, Mexican, Asian. Hey, we're all connected in a sense. Bob Marley said Bob Marley said it rains on the just and unjust alike. So the rain ain't biased. So we can't be biased, but we have to be true to ourselves. And we have to start the journey of getting to know who and what ourselves are. So I leave y'all with those words, man. Don't be afraid of yourself. That's this journey. To find yourself, to be yourself, to be alive as yourself, to be a being as you, not a being of someone else's perception. We are. We are beings of societies, which is a conglomerate of all of us together. We got a fucked up view of each other, is what I'm seeing. We have a really messed up, distorted view of each other. Because we wouldn't have half of the turmoil that we have here. So we perceive each other fucked up. And therefore, hey, we live it. We live it. Just a brief example before I go. Man, white people just always think they run shit, they own this, and they uppity. How do they act now? Right. Oh man, niggas ain't shit. Man, niggas ain't gonna never be shit. Niggas can't come together around each other. How we act? I'm just saying, how do we act? We act out these stereotypes that are placed on us as a collective and individually. and individually. Oh man, black women, they loud, rambunctious, they talk a bunch of shit, and what do we see? Oh man, black men ain't they whoremongers, they be sleeping with. What does the rap music portray? You see what I'm saying? This is how we begin to not be ourselves and be these stigmas placed on us. And we try fucking hardest to live them out. Motherfuckers go broke trying to live out a dope dealer's dream. You see what I'm saying? Motherfuckers try to live. The thing about being the mob, but you swear you the Gambino family. You ain't never been. What the hell, nigga? You see what I'm saying? Ain't never had to be out in the streets, but you's a bone hard thug. What the fuck, bro? You see what I'm saying? Ain't got to be no street walker, but you just want to give your cootie cat away. Why? Because it's something in them people that's not sitting well with them. Or they don't even know that. They're just out here living but being led as they're living. Stereotypes, stigmas are guiding them, not them guiding them. So if you want to be a thug, you ain't got no skills in this world. You ain't did. You accepted that shit, man. I ain't with the computer shit. Fuck this shit. That's what I give my cousins, man. Like, cause they never left out of this city. They left out to go get their drugs. They didn't, they never left out of the city. They didn't get a broader view of life. And when it came down to it, they're older and shit. Guess what? They ain't able to do nothing. But you know what? They can sell the shit out some dope. So you know what? They face them realities that, hey man, nigga, I ain't gonna never be no fucking fireman. I ain't gonna never work in no bank. I ain't gonna never do this. You know what? I'm comfortable with being a dope dealer. Not saying that that's why they were here, but in their living, they're not going on world. They're going on what they know, and they know sell dope. They're comfortable with that with themselves. They know they ain't going nowhere as a society standard of life. Them is the niggas that are different on the cool. Those are the ones, the dope dealers are the closest thing you're gonna get. Besides the homeless people who don't have society's stigma on them and with them doing their moves. I mean, doing their what they do. They don't give a fuck about society. This nigga's the best dope dealer in the world. Man, hey, because he said, look, nigga, I'm gonna be the best dope dealer it is. I'm gonna sew the block up. What in a young kid says that unless he knows that's what he is here to do? And this nigga was here to sell dope. He was this nigga sold dope so goddamn good. It's like, nigga, you wasn't selling dope up in these other realms and dimensions the way you come down here selling dope. It's comfortable. He was comfortable with that. He wasn't trying to be nothing else but himself. And what he did here, his living was selling dope. And he was fucking A1 phenomenal with it. And was comfortable with that. Accepted that. It is what it is. Man, cuz you could have been this, man. Oh, why? I don't want to do that. I want to sell dope. And he's honest with himself. So, with that little analogy, man, I'm going to leave y'all with something. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.